Beginning our top 5 stories of the year, it was the shocking incident caught on camera that had not only our attention, but the whole country's. The video of former Imperial Irrigation District Director Anthony Sanchez hitting his son with a belt after dropping and missing the ball in a game of catch. Sanchez's next-door neighbor recorded it from his house and posted the video on YouTube. Sanchez later appeared in court to face felony charges of child abuse, to which he pleaded not guilty.
I would have expected to see misdemeanor charges filed at the most.
Sanchez eventually resigned from his position, and he and his attorney are now fighting to keep the case from going to trial. Coming in at number 4 was the tragic mid-air collision of 2 U.S. military helicopters near Yuma on February 23rd.
This is extremely hard to take. Our condolences go out to anyone who knew any of these Marines. It's a very tough time for the family, friends, and squadron mates.
The crash that occurred in the Chocolate Mountain Range killed 6 Marines based out of Camp Pendleton, California, and 1 Marine based at Marine Corps Air Station Yuma. Officials said the Marines were conducting training for deployment to Afghanistan.
As to count 1, first-degree murder with premeditation, the court finds you guilty of that offense.
The man convicted of killing a Yuma doctor lands at number 3 on our top headlines. Preston Strong was found guilty for the murder of Dr. Satinder Gill in 2007. Gill was found dead with his head submerged in his home bathtub and 2 belts around his neck, in which investigators say were used to strangle him. The 3-month bench trial resulted in Strong's conviction and life sentence in prison. And coming in at number 2 was the scam that defrauded a credit union of millions of dollars. The AEA Federal Credit Union trial was one of the most talked about of the year. Former vice president of the credit union's business lending, Bill Little, and his wife Rhonda were the key players in a kickback scheme in which they accepted more than $1 million in bribes to give about $25 million in bad loans to former business owner Frank Ruiz. Bill was sentenced to 15 years in prison after a jury convicted him on 54 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. His wife Rhonda was convicted on 36 counts of conspiracy and money laundering. She was sentenced to 12 months of house arrest, allowing her to stay with their 2 young children.
The judge recognized that the victim in this case is not necessarily AEA and that there are others responsible, including the bank itself, for their own demise.
Ruiz was sentenced to 2 years in prison after he reached a plea agreement to testify against the Littles. And our top story of the year is what would turn out to be the biggest election in history. Voters all across the country came out in masses to cast their ballot for Mitt Romney or President Barack Obama. In Yuma County, lines were backed up with waiting times up to 4 hours.
We've been waiting here about an hour and a half.
I waited for 2 hours in line.
An hour and 45 minutes.
It's just too slow.
In an effort to save money, the county created 11 voting centers instead of having the 39 polling sites they had in previous elections. With such unexpected high turnout of voters, the wait time forced many to walk away not casting a ballot and caused technical issues with printers. Officials say they would look to improve the voting centers in the future. And that's your year in review for 2012. Reporting from Yuma, I'm John Archuleta.